Hello everyone, welcome to lesson 2 of Beginner's Google Spreadsheets. I am Eric, also known as Hollywood Frodo around the social media world. And in this lesson we're going to be talking about Google Sheet files and tabs, a lot of stuff about tabs and sheets. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to get out of the way so that you don't see me. You can see the full window that we're working on here. Now, if you don't remember, we create a new sheet by going to drive.google.com, and that is your Google Drive, and you click New, and you click Google Sheets, and it'll create a new sheet for you. And the first thing I want to talk about is naming a Google spreadsheet, because as you can see here, it's right now when you create a new one, it's just called Untitled, but we don't want it to be Untitled. We want to give it a title. Just click in there, it'll highlight it, and we'll say Google Spreadsheets, Google Spreadsheets Lesson 2, and hit enter, and boom, it's there. That's how you rename a sheet. If you wanted to change it, you could click up in here, highlight, change it, click enter, and it would change it. Very easy. And if you go back to Drive now, you'll see one of the files in here. Right there is this file we just created that we just changed the name to, Google Spreadsheets Lesson 2. There it is. So that's how you would get back to it, just by going to your Drive, and it will be here in your Drive. And so one thing that people get confused about with Google Sheets is, what about saving? Because if you go to File here, there is no save option. Why is there no save option? It's because Google is always automatically saving everything. If you look up here in the top center, it says All Changes Saved in Drive. And if you hover over it, it lets you know every change you make is automatically saved in Drive. If I type something in here real quick and hit enter, you'll see it says saving right there. It says saving. So it's just constantly saving. As you're working, if I delete that and hit enter, you'll see saving again. So it's constantly saving. You do not have to worry about saving anything. It will always automatically save everything as you're working, so you won't lose anything, which is really a great thing about using the Google Sheets. You don't have to worry about losing your work. It's constantly saving, and it lets you know here at the top, all changes saved in Drive. So if there's ever an issue, you lose internet access, so it's not able to save, it would let you know. But anyway, that's how you save. You don't really, that's how you do it. You don't do it. Google does it for you. So let's talk about, we talked about in the first lesson how Google Sheets can also be called a workbook, or you could refer to it as a spreadsheet file, is a lot of times what people will just call it, a spreadsheet file. Now, inside any spreadsheet file, you can have multiple of these worksheets that we're looking at. Right now, you see we have sheet 1, but you can have multiples of these, and with lots of worksheets. So we're going to look at that today. We're going to talk about tabs, or different worksheets, and different things you can do with them. Right now we're going to talk about renaming. So to rename this tab, you just click this little arrow and you go to rename, and I'm going to say food. We're just going to pretend that this is like for a field trip, so different things you need on a field trip. And so let's see, we've got food. What else? If you need to add an additional worksheet inside of this file, so this whole thing is the file, Google Spreadsheets Lesson 2, that's the spreadsheet file, but then you have this tab, or this sheet, called food. We want another sheet, and we'll call that funds. So I'm going to click the arrow, rename funds. And then I want another sheet, so I'm going to click the plus button. Easy to add an additional sheet. And I'm going to rename this to drivers. And so we're going to throw some data in here just so it makes sense. And this is going to be really bad data, but just something so you can see. So I'm going to say we need 20 apples, 10 oranges, and 5 bananas, because people don't like bananas, which isn't true. I love bananas, but that's for that. For funds, we're going to say Billy, Sally, Joe, Debbie, and we're just going to throw 5, 10. Joe's only paid $1 so far, and Debbie is all paid up. So the girls are better at paying in advance than the boys. So that's just to keep track of funds. And then drivers, we're going to say Mr. Sanders, Mr. Smith, Miss Thomas, and Mrs. Williams. So these are the people we have driving for us. Mr. Sanders has a big van, he can take 5. Mr. Smith can take 3 kids. Ms. Thomas can take 2, and Ms. Williams can take 5. So this is just random data, just so we have something to look at other than blank spreadsheets. And that's basically, that's what you're doing with a worksheet. Obviously, this is the most simplest version of this, but basically it's just you're storing data in a way that you can easily find it. If you want to know how many bananas you need, you can go here and you can see this how many you need. Later we could add how many we currently have donated and how many we still need. You could have all that information, but this is just your basic spreadsheet info so that we can talk about having different sheets with different data inside of one spreadsheet. So now that we have different tabs, let's talk about color coding. So you can color code these tabs to make them easy. Maybe you're going to be doing this for lots of different field trips over the course of the year, and you want, anytime you go to a field trip spreadsheet, you want to quickly be able to know which tab is for these different things, even without reading the name. Not that that would be hard, but color coding can help. So we're going to rename food. I'm sorry, we're not going to rename it. We're going to color code it. You click the arrow, and you go to change color. We're going to change that to green. Actually, no, funds should be green because that's money. So we're going to click the arrow. We're going to change color to green. Let's change food. I don't know what is a good color for food, but for whatever reason, I'm going to make it red. And then for drivers, I'm going to click the arrow and go to change color, and we'll make that blue. So now you can see here these tabs are color coded. And if you did this with every spreadsheet file that you had about field trips and you kept the color coding the same, it would just be another easy way other than the name to find the tab you need, because you would always know funds are always green, food is always red, driver is always blue. But that's how you color code the tabs in these for the different worksheets inside of your Google spreadsheet. Now, one thing you can do is you can quite easily duplicate a sheet. So maybe you had this food sheet and maybe you had a lot more information than what we have on here, and you wanted to play with it a little bit, but you didn't want to take the risk of messing up your main sheet. So you want to make a copy of it just to play with that you may end up deleting afterwards. Well, it's really easy. You can click the arrow and you go up here to duplicate. You click duplicate and you'll see copy of food. So now I can change the information on this. I can mess it up, whatever I want to do with it, just to play with it if I'm trying to see what different results would be. And I haven't messed up the original because this is just a copy. And it copies over exactly all the information that you have in the worksheet, gets copied over to the duplicate, and then you can do whatever you want to with it, which is really easy. Now, if you want to delete a sheet, that's easy as well. Basically the same thing. You click that little arrow and you go to delete, and make sure you really know you want to delete it. You click OK, and now you've deleted it. So really easy to duplicate any existing sheet. Also easy to delete a sheet if you want to. Now, you might have noticed there was another option there, and that's copy to. That's different than duplicate. Duplicate just duplicates your sheet right there where you are inside of this spreadsheet. Copy to means you want to take a copy of the sheet you're on and you want to insert it either in a completely new spreadsheet or you want to insert it into an existing spreadsheet. I'll do this just so you can kind of see. Copy to, and if I say new spreadsheet, then it's copying it. And if I say open spreadsheet, you can see this is an entirely new spreadsheet, untitled spreadsheet, and it copied just that sheet I was on, that one tab, and there's little Google hints, copied it into this spreadsheet. So this spreadsheet has a copy of that food sheet that I was on inside of it. You can also copy into an existing sheet. So if I click the funds, if I'm on the funds worksheet, I say copy to, and I say existing spreadsheet. then I can choose any of the spreadsheets that I already have. So if I say Untitled Spreadsheet, that's the one we just created, and say Select. Now if I go over to that spreadsheet in this tab, you'll see it now has a copy of funds in it as well. So you can copy any of these tabs. You can duplicate, which is just copying it into the spreadsheet you're on, or you click copy to if you want to send it to a completely different spreadsheet, either a new spreadsheet or an existing spreadsheet. So those are the different ways you can copy your worksheet data. Now, rearranging these tabs is easy. Maybe you say, okay, food is not what I need, is most important right now. Funds is most important. I want that to be first. You just click, left click, and hold on to it and drag. And you can see when you start doing that, it changes. So again, I'm clicking my mouse, just a normal left click, and holding, and it changes as you start to move it to a little arrow. So you can just click and drag, and you can do that really easy. So you can easily rearrange your sheets to the order that makes the most sense for you and for the way you're working. So easy to rearrange your sheets. Now, if you have a lot of sheets, I'm just going to click this plus button to add a bunch of sheets. If you had so many that you couldn't see, like now we can't see everything. We've got all these sheet numbers that I just created. I can kind of see drivers here, but I don't see food or funds anywhere. It's easy. You have these little scroll arrows right here to scroll. So you can just click that arrow and scroll, and now I see food and funds on the bottom left. Now drivers aren't there. I need to see drivers. So, you can have tons and tons of worksheets inside of any one spreadsheet. You can have tons of worksheets. And so if you have so many, generally speaking, I don't have a lot of spreadsheets that have that many tabs, that many sheets. But if you do, you can use the scroll wheel to get to ones that you can't initially see. So I think that is it for today's lesson. Basically, what did we go over? Basic entering of data, which is just clicking in a cell and entering data. Not doing a whole lot with that right now, but you saw how we could click there and just type in what we wanted to be there. Mainly we went over renaming the spreadsheet, as well as all the different things you can do with the different sheets inside your spreadsheet by clicking down on the tab, choosing the arrow, and you have options to change color, rename, copy to, duplicate, and delete. Now there are other options. There are reasons why I am not covering everything. Things I'm covering are the things that are most important. If I'm not covering it, it's because I don't think it's something you need to know at this stage. But of course, you're always free to Google on your own to find out what something does if you want. Anyway, that is going to be it for this lesson. Hopefully you learned a little bit or out of that, or you're getting a little bit out of that. Don't forget that you do have the option to speed these videos up, and use the little settings cog wheel on the bottom right of the video, and you can watch them faster if you want to. And also, most importantly, make sure you're watching them in HD so that you can see everything that's going on. Anyway, that's it for lesson 2. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments down below. Obviously, if it's a question about something I'm going to cover in the future, I'll probably say we'll get to that. But if it's a question about something I covered today, I'll do my best to answer you as quickly as I can. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Click the like button. All those things are helpful for me. Favorite this playlist to keep up with future videos in this lesson series. And check out my other social media stuff, Hollywood Frodo. All those links will be down in the description below. All right, that's it until next time. So have a great day.